One Now and Al Jazeera have covered. They interviewed my friend Rhonda Kelso and then Leanne Walters and Mark Edwards talked to News One Now, talking about how this has been going on for 20 months, and it shouldn't be. So again, there's so many parts to this story: the lack of democracy, the ineptitude of the people in charge, the lies, the cover-ups, the deceptions. It's the health problems, the high bills, the lack of a voice, the emergency management situation. There's so many parts to this story that it takes all of these different articles to get it out, and it still doesn't cover everything. I sat down with a reporter from NPR, and I told them, well, here's what we've been through. And it was hours later, like today. There's so much to cover, and there's so much to know that it's going to take several media outlets, several different interviews across the board to try to get a complete picture of what's happened to us, what is continuing to happen, what needs to happen, and what can happen to other people. So yeah, that's a big thing right there, is that we need all the media attention and help we can get. People need to learn themselves to stop fight. Because again, I tell people, can happen anywhere. The Emergency Operations Center. I think that this is important to cover because this is something totally different. This is something the city has not seen before. Again, the plans are put in place 2 months ago. People need to be able to pick up water and water filters, and then they a central place to call and get information. No more calling the water plant or the MDEQ. There needs to be a central place where people can get help and get answers. So right now it's the fire station number 1, 310 East 5th Street downtown. And again, I'm sure this is going to expand over time. So this is one of the procedures that needed to happen for this whole state of emergency. Our mayor is following the procedures step by step to make sure that it is accurate. So that's very important for people to know. Let's see, Fox News, doctor thought polluted Flint water was worse for children than actually originally thought. Well, of course. Of course, it's way worse than any of us thought. Again, when we first talked about doing the Virginia Tech tests as a group, we knew it would be not good. We would find some things. Never did we imagine how high these levels would be and how consistent it would be across the city. So I'm certain that with the Fox News Health, when we talked to Dr. Hannah Atisha, I don't think she expected to pull the numbers she pulled. I don't think she expected to find what she found either, but she did. And again, this is important for people to see, that we weren't going into any of this looking for giant numbers to make this huge media splash and huge emergency. No, we were looking for answers, but got way more than we all bargained for. And it's a lot scarier and a lot more heartbreaking than we originally thought. So that was a good one. And then a big splash right now is the Genesee County chairman, after saying that he didn't think that there was a reason for a declaration of emergency. On the 18th, I think, 4 days later, he decided that I can go ahead and send it up to the governor after people kind of ripped him apart. Instead of putting off the meeting until January 4th, because, it's an emergency, hence the word emergency, the Genesee County chairman said he can send the governor. And that's where it's going now. And we need the governor to back the declaration and send it on to the White House so we can get federal help. And then, of course, next is Michael Moore had put out 2 tweets now, and of course, it's hitting all over the place. He tweeted the Rachel Maddow interview and her rant, basically. And it'd be great. It would be great if you could step in and help, because we've been screaming for help since January. Well, since before January, but my group, me personally, we've been screaming for help since January. We've said, hey, your city's being poisoned. Help. So I hope that something comes at it, and he brings his cameras in. Again, like Michael Moore or not, he can really bring a lot of exposure to this issue. And that's what we need right now, to show the world that we need help. And we're not just a bunch of poor people wanting a handout. No, we're a bunch of regular people who got poisoned, and we need medical help, and we need the poisoning to stop. So there's a lot of misconceptions about Flint. So possibly if he can come shed a positive light on the people who actually do live here, and the people who actually are suffering, like my family, and the McIntyre family, and the Kelso family, and the Pembertons, perhaps things can change. So that's my hope there. Naive or not, yes. So thank you. We're starting to see people. Mark Ruffalo actually tweeted about it, and I thought that was awesome. And yeah, so it's good to see that people who are of a a famous status, I guess, retweeting about little old Flint. But we need help. So there's